And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. Today I'm here joined with Pippa, a good friend. And today we're talking about all things spirituality, primarily talking with all of you fine folks out there. If you're watching this, tuning in live, well, probably you're not yet, but if you're watching the replay, this is live, happening right now. You can ask us anything you want, and we'll wait some time while the viewers join and have a nice casual conversation.
Yay.
So what's on your mind today, Pippa? Tell us, how are you doing?
I went to the cemetery again, and ever since I got back, I've been experiencing a lot of fear and anxiety. And while I was there at first, so I spent an hour in meditation, just sitting somewhere. It was raining. I found a nice place to sit under, close to many graves, and the first half hour was quite comfortable. And I was just thinking of the corpses decomposing and imagining my own body decomposing, imagining bodies of all the people I know and love, how that would look like, and then looking at the graves, whatever. And that was quite okay. And then I had a first upshot of fear, and then it went away again. And I think it was because I was just contemplating death and thinking about it, and my mind couldn't wrap itself around the concept. So I got a little nervous. And then that kind of went away, and I felt calm, and I went deeper into meditation. And then this thought of disembodied beings came, and like all the fantasy stories about what it is like to be on a cemetery, and also the sun started setting, so it got a little scarier. And then I sat, and I felt like two energies approaching, and it reminded me of the time that I first properly did a Kali mantra, and I also felt some energy roaming around me somehow, very specific feeling. And also then I was really scared to open my eyes because I feared that something would be there. And so this was a kind of similar feeling at one point. And I also started, like, I had two very strong images coming up. And that was the point where I really got like, I don't want to be here. It's getting dark. Let's go. And I just left the cemetery. And a lot of things are like occurring to me about the fact that I have had this fear very often when I'm in spiritual practices or in very energetic spaces. And in Isha Yoga Center as well, in Dhyanalinga, I sometimes experienced it, or outside of the temple when I had spent a long time in there. But I never called it fear because I wasn't aware of the fact that it was. And now the coin kind of drops like, oh, I'm just super scared of death and I don't know what it is. And yeah, it's inside of me, that feeling.
Okay. So the viewers that are listening, you're gonna lose the video connection for a few seconds. I need to change the title. It'll be Spiritual Talk with a Girl. And yes, I have some advice, some things to consider. You should be seeing me back any second now. I would suggest that you don't go there anymore. You've gone there twice. I felt this is appropriate today. I'm glad that you went this time. But now just wait. Wait for all of this to be processed, to be digested. Let me just read some of the comments before I continue on.
Mm.
TWC says, I was scrolling and found you guys. Thank you. Somebody says,
Mhm.
this guy is definitely a vampire. Yes, I am. I've come here to suck your blood. Energy from Uncle Sam. Ash says, Islam is the true religion. One day, whole West will be Muslim. These people. I thought Christianity was the only true religion. Okay, I'm going to be kind and polite here. Let's see. Slam, beautiful couple. You suit her very well. Ram Ram, do you think Drake? Yeah, I don't want
What
to
are
say that
these
on.
comments?
Yes. I don't know if Drake did that. Gaming channel. Observer says she should grant Gayatri mantra for that she'll find her path. Oh, she should chant that Gayatri mantra. I think that's true. This person said something very observant. His name is the Observer. So I think
Mhm.
you definitely should chant the Gayatri mantra. That's something that's going to be
Okay,
very useful for you.
I'll
Yes,
try.
I told you to go to the cemetery just because you're afraid of death, and this brings this up. So I'm glad you turned yourself a little bit more blue.
Mhm.
And I think the next 2 weeks, you're going to have to overcome these challenges, the things that you've taken in. That'll have to be processed. So definitely don't go there again. At least not for a while.
Would be too much, or why do you say this?
Yes, it can be too much. It's not needed anymore. You're better off staying at home. You did what you had to do. There's no need for that now.
Okay.
You've taken the cemetery to yourself. I mean, to your home now. So you're still in that place mentally.
Yeah, I can feel that. I really feel that way.
So what else? Anything else that's new?
Yeah. Mm, so I
Hold
was.
on, we got a
Go
super
ahead.
chat. I have to read this out. Boring accountant. Well, boring accountant. Nothing boring about making money. Gifted $5 US. Shout out to you, my friend. He says, can people transcend themselves? How can a 1 liter cup transcend the limit of 1 liter? If people grow, they're filling their cup or transcending? Whoa, very mystical, deep question. How do I even respond to that? Should should I allow you to respond first?
I don't understand the question even.
Can
Can
people
you repeat?
transcend themselves? How can a 1 liter cup transcend the limits of 1 liter? If people grow, they're filling their cup or transcending? Yeah, I would say, my friend, you asked a very, I'm not sure if you consciously, well, you asked a very deep and insightful and wise question. If your human vessel, human system is like a cup or is a vessel, and you're pouring water through spiritual practices, you're pouring energy into yourself, there will come a day where you will start to overflow. Where does that happen? How does that happen? Through the top of the head, through the crown chakra, crown space. Just like if you pour water into a cup, if you pour too much, it will overflow. Similarly, as you gain energy into this human system, there will come a time when the top will be blown open and you will have access to the entire creation, to the entire space. It's very mystical, very beautiful, very blissful. Everything kind of calms down. So, to answer your question, can people transcend themselves? Absolutely, my friend. That's the whole point of the spiritual game. So, shout out to you again for donating that super chat. What do you think about that, Pippa?
Well, mm, the way you put it, I think it's correct, even though I don't have the experience of that happening. But I also always hear you say that essentially self-realization or enlightenment is an energy thing. Um, and at first it didn't make sense to me because, um, yeah, I thought it had more to do with, or I saw it from a mind's perspective. But in the past few months or since summer, since I spent time in India, energy has become way more palpable and to me as well. And I also start understanding that that is kind of the guiding principle to whatever changes inside of me. Um, so I think it makes sense that if at some point there is enough, that it will just sprout at the top.
Hmm. Yeah, I hope that happens to you, boring accountant. Maybe you will be not so boring anymore. Yeah, I'm very glad you went to the cemetery. That's a wise thing to do. And I see that your energies have changed quite massively, actually. You needed to be in touch with the reality, with the truth. And that's exactly what you did. The first day
Mm,
was kind of getting a touch or a tasting. Second day,
mhm.
much more powerful, much more profound.
So, what exactly has changed?
Your energies are much clearer, much more accessible to me. I can see it. I can see the truth in you, much more truthful and much more real. When you're living in society, in your house, it's easy to get lost, confused, delusional, deluded. You need some truth to be touched. You need the truth to touch you for you to transcend out of that, for you to awaken out of that. That's exactly what you did.
Hmm.
And I see you as, you know, Shiva had lots of disembodied beings around him. You're kind of taking on that energy, or at least disembodied beings can start to approach you. And now,
Hmm. So, what's your experience with disembodied beings?
I saw a disembodied being back in Burma, 2018. This man tragically lost his life in a very horrific car accident, was shoved out of his body, and was walking around, stumbling around, trying to seek help. And he ended up going to a Buddhist monastery for that help. Lots of light is there. And then he found me and he started talking to me. It was very frightening, very scary because he whispered in my ear in the middle of the night as I was outside on a mountaintop or a hill. And he whispered, he made a sound. He wasn't even whispering. He was like, and through that 1 second of whispering, I looked behind me. There was nobody there. It was just air. I got so freaked out. At the
Hmm.
same time, I instantly understood what he was saying. He conveyed to me he got killed and this happened and now he doesn't know what to do. So then I called my friends and we stood around in a circle. We sent him some loving energy and poof, he was gone.
Hmm. So you dissolved him, or
No, not dissolved him. What happened was after we sent him some loving energy, I saw that it was like almost a portal or a spiritual elevator opened up. And from where he was sitting in the middle of us, he just spiraled upwards or he shot into space. I understood or
oh.
knew instantly that he went to the next level. He graduated, so to speak. He went on to the next assembly line point. Whatever needs to be done after that, that's where he went. So,
And how would you define disembodied beings in general? It's not it's not necessarily people who have lost their lives in some way and are on the loose, or is it?
yes, it usually is people that have lost their lives, but not always. I've never come in contact. Um, I have come in contact with some spirits that are not human, demonic creatures, angels, sometimes gods even. That's very nice. But usually it's human beings that pass away. If you consciously have desire to go into these realms, you can, and you can access more. You can access demonic spirits or demonic beings, angelic beings, what have you. But it's not really necessary or needed. Mm, they usually come because they're looking for your help. They're looking for help. And when you go to the cemetery, just like you have, and the energies have opened up in you quite a lot, they see you as someone that's competent in that area of life. Like, for example, the boring accountant here, probably competent in accounting. I would go to him just because of his name. Hey, I need some accounting work done. Similarly with you, they see, oh, there's a possibility something can happen. So they go to you, they gravitate towards you. that can freak you out sometimes. I also knew a girl, she was living by herself, and her grandmother passed away, and she said that she could feel her grandmother walking in the house. She just knew. And sometimes she would be sitting on the couch and she would hear loud knocks or somebody trying to push something over, and it would scare her so badly. And she started talking to me, and I told her, well, your grandmother is probably seeking your help in some way. Not there to scare you or try to hurt you. She wants some attention, so to speak. So that kind of calmed her down, and I'm not sure how that progressed, but hopefully she managed to help resolve that situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's calming.
Vijay Krishna says, Shiva, where is your turban today? Today I'm showing off my long, luscious hair. No turban today.
For a reason?
Just felt comfortable expressing myself this way. No turban. Let the energies flow out. Yes, observer, ask anything you like. Yeah, so this is, somebody else says, demonic forces live in the home you feel. Where is left grandmother gone? Yes, observer, ask anything you want, my friend. So that's the importance of specific types of metal, like liquid silver, we can call it. Or one of the most densest elements on Earth, something that people want to stay away from. It's a heavy metal. When it's used properly, when it's solidified, and the toxic properties are left out of it, it can be a huge help and an aid towards you working with these spirits, working with all sorts of energetic forms, and also dissolving them, because this gives you the strength and power to inflate this energy, so to speak. So I can see you're wearing that.
I felt this being on fire today. So can you say more about how exactly to work with it, or is it just intuitive? It will happen.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that that you have that experience, that it was on fire. How to work with it is, this metal likes to be consumed by this space of the throat center. So if you feel called, if the body is allowing it to go inside, you just feel that you can consume this. And as you consume this, your energy starts to grow bigger, more powerful. You start to get stronger in this area. So,
and it's being on fire, do you relate that to the body consuming it, or
probably because you went into a new space that's like that, energetically conducive for this, and maybe some beings were in touch with you, and maybe some energy was vibrant and active and alive, and this started vibrating. I don't think that yeah, not the question that you asked, probably.
For me, it usually burns when I need to say something.
Oh.
That's one thing I've noticed. But now I can't really, like, it's been there for a few hours, so I don't know exactly what it's signifying. I'll find out.
Energy is moving. Okay, let's see. We got lots of comments here. Krishna asks Shiva Kailash, I'd like to offer you a Sanskrit pronunciation class free of charge. Thank you very much. I'll graciously accept. Who else says something? Observer, please confirm. Oh, he just deleted the comment. Please confirm you are both talking about the demons and the entities around us. No. If you have demons or entities around you, probably you have a very miserable and bad life. Most likely you don't have these entities or demons around you. Hopefully, if you're living morally, if you're practicing the 5 moral precepts, which are not to kill living beings, not to steal from others, not to lie, not to misuse your sexuality, and not to intoxicate your mind. If you're not doing these 5 things, and you're living a good, wholesome moral life, if you have some spiritual practice, chances are pretty much very good that you don't have any negative spirits around you. Yet, if you're doing the opposite of these things, going out and drinking and hurting others, oof, guaranteed. Especially if you're into the more immoral sides of life of, adult videos and various other things you can do. That's the prime place for these types of beings that want to feed off of that energy to go towards you. So don't live an immoral life. Yeah. I have experiences with this. People can get entities attached to them. It's not a pleasant thing to be going through. So don't live an immoral life. Yeah. It's like if you're out in the wilderness and you start bleeding, there are predators that can smell the blood, and they will probably follow you around because you're their sustenance, your food. Similarly, if you're walking around in this spiritual plane, which you are as a human being, there are realms that you can't see. If you start bleeding in a different way, you start hurting your body energetically and energy starts leaking out. Other types of predators, we can say, start to see that, oh, look, there's a juicy steak walking around. They're going to go and latch onto you. And then they will start to influence your thoughts, influence your mind, influence your energy in all sorts of ways towards you gravitating towards darker aspects of existence. And then the cycle gets worse and worse and worse. So don't do this. Similarly, the opposite is true. If you're living a moral life, the exact opposite happens. Other spirits see, okay, you're a great possibility. You're a conducive space. And they attach to you or they follow you around. They give you guidance. They become your friend. So that's what you want. You want to follow the 5 moral precepts, my friend. You want to live a moral life.
Let's talk about spirit guides. Online, there's a lot of people who talk about this and connect to them. And if you say something like spirits becoming your friends, guiding you, is that what spirit guides are? Or
That's a good question. Spirit guides can sometimes be dead relatives that have evolved to a certain level of existence. They're not coming back. They're not progressing. They're kind of want to help you. And they're spiritually wise, and they're kind of in that place where they can give you advice. And they don't know better than you a lot of the times. They're there, they can see from a different perspective, but you also have to discern and decipher. So it's like having a wise teacher in the back of you. Sometimes when you get nudges, it's wise to follow them. Sometimes you hear knocking in your room or things shifting, or you can just feel it in your room. I definitely do. So that's them walking around. It's not only your relatives, it could be lots of spirits, lots of beings that you don't understand, or some yogis that have walked away and they're kind of here to help you. A while ago, this used to freak me out. I didn't like it. Like, just leave me alone, please. I want my privacy. They're in my room and doing all these things. I'm like, oh my God, stop. And so then I consciously pushed them away. Hey, get out of here. Okay, I don't want you. And then I went to this guy that's a psychic, and he told me, I asked him, hey, what do you think? And he said, oh, you pushed your spirits away. I instantly knew this guy knows what he's doing. So that's not the case anymore. They're here. They give me they keep me company, you can say.
And you say they help you? They help you towards what?
Towards you growing as a human being. They can help you in all sorts of ways. If you allow them to, they can influence your thoughts, meaning that's where you can get the communication the best. So these spirits aren't going to manifest tremendous amounts of energy and start talking to you out loud. That's pretty much impossible. It's not necessary. It's not needed. It would be too hard for them, too exhausting. They can't do that. Unless in emergencies, you can say. but they definitely can move our energy around. And your thoughts are the most malleable form of energy. So you be receptive, you be malleable, and you can allow them to communicate through your mind. Oh, this is,
Mhm.
I'm having these thoughts. So sensitivity is needed.
I met a girl once who had the elements as her guides, and she used to do meditations. And she told me that she kind of um, made a contract with different elements at various points in her life, and then um, that she could also decide to, well, to quit somehow. Um, so when you talk about the spirits in your room, it seems more like the ones that are there anyway. But have you tried seeking out different ones, or how would that work?
Yeah, in the music industry, or people who do this sometimes, they invoke certain different types of help, you can say. And yeah, there's some help to that, but also there's lots of consequences. Yes, I have tried invoking different spirits many years ago when this became something that's very interesting to me, very important. I invoked demonic energies and particular types of energy like Lucifer. Very easy to contact, very easy to spring up. It's almost like he's physical because that's just the nature of who he is. It's not something you want to mess around with. Quite dangerous, you can say. If you entangle yourself with this energy, things can come, meaning beneficial consequences, things that you want, you can say, but also takes a great toll. Because I always link this back to this example. It's like you want to get a car, you want to pay off your house, you go to the mob. Hey, mob, the organized crime, can you please help me
Mm.
pay off this loan? Sure, no problem. They'll give you the money, but if you don't pay or if you don't do what they say, you're going to not walk for a while, we can say. So, not the best thing to do with these people.
So what? Why did you need Lucifer, and what were the consequences? And how did you detach from him in the end?
No, it's not that I needed
Did
him.
you?
Yeah, I did, I think, I believe. But it was something so exciting for me. And the energy of it, I was so, oh my God, this is something that's real and these beings exist. And it was so easy for me to access them. And it was just kind of my learning phase, you can say. So I didn't need anything from them. I needed things, oh, I want some fancy stuff and this and that. But I was awakening my throat chakra. So these beings started coming to me. One day I had a very powerful experience. I wanted to call this being Belial, I think, some being like this. And I sat in my room, and the instructions were to close your blinds. At least that's what I intuitively felt. I closed my blinds. I turned off all the lights, and it was as pitch black as I could get. And then I lit an incense just on the floor, and I sat on the floor and understand that I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was shaking, like I'm opening the door to some, I don't know, monsters. That's exactly what I was doing. And I'm there shaking, but I feel I need to do this. I need to gain the courage to do this. And then I lit the incense and I'm just staying there for a while and I'm saying this, please come to me. Tell me something. I open my eyes and the incense smoke is going downwards into the sand. It's defying gravity. So I was offering this as a food to this. I thought, oh, okay, wow. And again, the fear, intense fear is overwhelming my body. And then I'm saying, come, come, come. And finally, this being does arrive and he admonishes me. Says very simply, buddy, you're so afraid, you're pathetic. Like, get it together, okay? Get a grip on yourself, uh, you know? And then this being left. And I was just overwhelmed with shame, embarrassment. I don't know what if this was my mind's imagination or this thing just came and told me this. I was very funny.
Well, that sounds nice. Have you had experiences that were uh, like where the fear was justified?
Um, no, not really.
Mm.
One day I did, this Lucifer being, I did say, hey, come over. Come show me. And I was laying in bed and I could feel like this, the energy of him was so strong in my room. It was like almost he's manifesting himself physically. And then he touched me on my shoulder and I thought, okay, this is no joke. Either my imagination became 100,000 times more powerful and I'm manifesting something, or it wasn't my imagination. I know what my imagination is capable of. This wasn't like that. This was something else. That was the most powerful experience I had, that this being is very accessible in the physical world.
Okay. So time to experiment.
Yeah,
I
Sadhguru.
remember when I was
Go ahead.
on the cemetery, I was like, I understood that this was happening, or was a possibility, and I immediately had also the question of, can I seek help if I don't know how to handle this, or if something happens, and like, will Shiva be there? Will Sadhguru be there? Should I call someone to be here with me? I don't know. Like, is that something you do, or that makes sense in any way?
If you get yourself into trouble like this, Shiva or Sadhguru is not going to come running towards you. You're going to have to solve this yourself. So don't get yourself into trouble, first and foremost. And also, don't start to dig a hole into these realms. That's also something that you don't want to do. If these things come to you, that's one thing. You're safe, you're protected, you're on the spiritual path, you're moral, you're ethical, you have the right technology on you, meaning the ring and various things that help you. So these things won't really affect you in that way. But if you start digging holes, if you start going into the wilderness and start poking in the holes to see if there's a bear or there's a wolf, something else is going to find you. Don't do that. So also at the same time, it's worthwhile for you to access yourself fully, for you to see what's going on. Not to consciously go poking holes, but there's a point to this. I wanted to mention something. Yeah. Don't know, forgot. Somebody asks you to do a 360. Maybe he's not sure that we're live. Taylor Swift.
Me? The commenter.
So yeah, don't do this. But yeah, it's fascinating. These things are fascinating and you should explore it. Not explore in that way, but explore yourself. These things will come.
So in terms of spiritual progress towards self-realization, what point is there to activating Vishuddhi and all these things that come with that?
There really isn't any point. In fact, the throat chakra, there's no use for it spiritually towards spiritual awakening or realization or transcending the limits of death or fear of death. Not to say that you should, pass away. You should live a very long time. But these energies are conducive for you becoming a more impactful, more powerful human being. That you have to go into these realms and explore these things. And if you want to teach others and help benefit others, you have to, do all these things. But towards spiritual realization, it's so easy. You just need a clap, someone to clap. Your system will awaken. So awaken.
Yes, I will.
Good. Yeah, I think that's the end of our show, my friends. Subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Pippa's channel. It's at Pippa Festions, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll link her channels on my video. On my videos, you just go to my videos and it'll be in the description. Let's answer some comments. Ruben Silva says, so cringe. I hope you get that checked out, my friends. Feeling cringe is not something you want to do. Danny, shout out to Danny in the chat. He says, jump into cold water, rise up. Yes. Let's see. Have you guys experienced aura of Shiva ever? Yes, absolutely. If you want to experience Shiva, the best place to do that is in Kailash. It's like Shiva's energy is blue and white. The Dark Lord 11XXX is spamming my chat. He's saying I bend myself over on the. Yeah, he's awakening his throat chakra for sure, and you're seeing that manifest through the absurd things that he's saying. So shout out to you, the Dark Lord. Yeah, I've been there from India. Okay, you've been to Kailash. Interesting. Any thoughts on lucid dreaming? Yeah, better that you dream and not lucid dream. Just dream and rest. Better you be lucid when you're awake, not when you're dreaming. Yeah, I like that answer. Changed man. Aura of Shiva is emptiness. No? Yes, I guess. Yeah.
Are we talking about Adiyogi or
Yes.
Shiva as emptiness, or is it the same thing?
Oh, yeah, I think we're talking about the first yogi, the Adiyogi. He is also emptiness. But I'm sure when he was awake, alive on planet Earth, he was extremely blue in his aura. Taylor Swift, this man has a crush on you, he says. Yeah. Let's see. I'm from India. How many aura points would you say Pippa has? Ooh, a lot of aura points now that she went to the to that place, the cremation ground or cemetery. It's good. Definitely gained a lot, for sure.
Say how many. You didn't answer the question.
Okay. Well, let's say if you had 20 out of 100, now you have 50 out of 100. So massive
growth.
Massive growth. The Dark Lord says, I love Shiva. Okay. Let's all praise the Shiva Linga. This man. But he catches people emptiness, laziness. Okay, let's see any more. All right. This man is having a wild Kundalini experience. That's it, my friends and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Reach out to us. Reach out to me for a spiritual consultation. The price is 220 Canadian dollars. If you want to buy a Rudraksha Mala that's consecrated with Kailash, you can do so. 110 Canadian dollars. PayPal link will be down below. Join me on Discord. Subscribe to my channel. And we love you all.